Wah 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 wah! Here I am. Nobody's here. Hello everybody. Welcome to me fucking everything up. I would have started an hour ago, but I got distracted, and then I couldn't figure out how to get this to go. Anyway, hello, welcome. Let me know if anything is too loud, too quiet. So we're gonna get. Don't mind Skahath here. Don't mind that. So I have not played Avalon yet. I haven't even really played it in the English version. I mean, I haven't played it in the Japanese version. It's Merlin. It's this fucker. Hello, Merlin. How are you? This fucker. Don't tell me it doesn't matter. For here you will be the queen's bottomless castle. They accumulate like rain or ash. They disappear like snow or lies. Our hopes are either upon the shelf or yet in the queen's hands. But we only need to hold out a little longer. For the 2000th year, the prophesied child will appear. I love Turtle, the child who brings us Fae folk and humans together, the child who will save the world. Though it be too small for any to see, the child shall be drawn to the light here as a moth to the flame. Once the child has averted catastrophe in the city of iron and the sea of soot, their pilgrimage shall truly begin. Chosen by the staff of selection, the savior guarded by travelers afar shall reach the throne. The throne shall be claimed by the true king. Take up the bloody crown. Let the 6 bells ring out like a raging lightning, like a grieving flame. Let it ring out and forge a path for true king. Let them ring out before the red calamity reaches us, before the black disaster devours us living. Though we may not be like most diligent folk, we are yet the free descendants of Fae. Lacking those in our wishes be, all we desire is a brighter tomorrow. So what do you think? It takes a sweet time making its point, but do you get it yet? That's just how it is with prophecies. They don't make sense when you first hear them, but once the events unfold, you see exactly what they meant. And in that sense, they're a lot like curses that fix itself to your back before you knew it was there. Oh my god, Merlin, will you shut the fuck up? Well, looks like there's a scary lady found me. This is all I can do for now. The next time I see you will probably be after everything else is said and done. It's a shame I won't be able to help you fight, but I'm hugely relieved I won't have to fear for my life. Alright then, I'll be waiting for you in the confined land. Until next time. Yeah. What's new? What's new, Merlin, huh? What is new? Was that a dream? Oh. Testing. Good morning, everyone. This is Theon. The time is now 7 a.m. and I am very sorry to disturb you all in your precious quiet early morning hours. But I have an urgent message to relay to all of Novum Chaldea's staff. There has been a change to the 6th Lost Belt. The emergency situation we predicted is now in progress. Please remain calm and come to the command room as soon as you are able. Oh crap, come on, foe. Foe? Fo, no! You have to come with us so you can kick Merlin's ass. Mosh Kirilight reporting for duty. What's going on here, Master? Don't bother asking Hakuchi anything, Kirilight. She and I both just got here ourselves, so we know little as you. I don't even know see my technical advisor and the captain anywhere. The only other ones here are that unflappable alchemist and... Good morning, my distinguished colleagues. I see by your healthy complexions that you all slept marvelously last night. Wonderful. I'd say it fulfills the first condition, won't you, Miss Sion? Yes, I think so. It's very lucky that you all are in such good health right now. Let us see. We have Hakuchi and Mosh and the demi-servant. Mosh the demi-servant on the top. OP. Manure the pilot. Tomlin the Kawata, the operators. Octavia, Da Vinci's assistant. Chin, the vehicle mechanic. Said, I don't know how to pronounce these names. The mutinous and the design engineer. Elron, the record keeper. Marcus, the spiritual engineer. And Gerardolf, who just enjoys a heaping plate of pancakes and rather generous dribbling in honey. I see not one of you is so much as batting an eye at the dire situation. Truly, you are all seasoned veterans. This will make it much more easier to tell you what is going on. Oh, I really don't like where this is going, but come on, let's hear it. What is going on already? Does it have something to do with that serious red light flashing, more godly than I've seen it flash before? Is there a fire in the kitchen or something? Oh no, nothing like that. This is only a tiny planetary crisis that'll eradicate us in about 24 hours if we don't stop it. Eradication? Well, that's a much bigger deal than I was expect. Wait, did you say you Egyptian Enoch? It seems it's very rude to boil down people to their nationality, periods, and or choice of apparel. I agree with that, but please, let's not get sidetracked right now. Director Gerardolf, Master, and all the other staff managers are still grappling with this news. What exactly do you mean by planetary crisis? I'm sorry, you're right. We don't have a lot of time to spare, so I might as well be forthright as I can. As you know, it has been about 3 weeks since the shocking operation to eliminate Limbo. In that time, Novum Caldum has brought up the Storm Border, devising plans of attack of the remaining 6th and 7th Lost Belts. That said, I have told you all before, I see no need to infiltrate Britain, the side of the 6th Lost Belt. So I have been focusing my efforts on the 7th Lost Belt, where the foreign god is hiding out. Yes, I remember you said that the 6th Lost Belt is left to its own devices because... Go on, Hakuchi, tell her. Because Britain doesn't have a Tree of Emptiness anymore. Indeed, the Tree of Emptiness that helped establish the British Lost Belt was used to burn down the Tree of Emptiness in Olympus. As for the proof, we do not observe any magical energy readings associated with the Tree of Emptiness coming from Britain since then. As such, the British Lost Belt should disappear on its own, much like the Chinese one did, or so we thought. Right, so the British Lost Belt may still be shrouded in the Wall of Light, but it is no longer a threat to humanity. At least that was our understanding. Is that not the case? No, it is... We were just keeping it under observation, but we did not consider it a threat. Not until this very moment, anyway. This is the Paper Moon's planetary observation grid, and there's Shiba's predictions. According to this, the British Lost Belt will vanish in about 24 hours, and when it does, it will also engulf the rest of the planet with like an enormous tsunami. Earth will then crumble under its weight, under its own gravity, and utterly annihilating the planet. We are not talking about one of the foreign gods' pseudo-black holes. This would truly be the end of the world. This will overwrite humanity's current bad ending, the bleached Earth phenomenon, with a completely dead end. But why is this happening? That we don't know, but now we know what will happen if left unchecked. We can ill afford to simply sit back and twiddle our thumbs. Da Vinci and Captain Nemo are on the storm border as we speak, getting ready to launch. Up until now, we have been using the shadow border to infiltrate Lost Belts via void space. But this sudden development has left us with all the time we need to prepare. Fortunately, we now have the storm border, which is capable of directly breaching walls surrounding the Lost Belt. As a battleship, the storm border is essentially our frontline base. While we will still be conducting site investigations in the shadow border, we have a base where we can always resupply with a tremendous asset. Furthermore, Trismegistus 2 categorized this phenomenon as a collapse, but one could also call it a trap or perhaps a pitfall. A pitfall. Do you think Britain is going to cave in on itself or sink underwater? I'm afraid I can offer no definitive answer until we get there. Regardless, I suspect not even one of the foreign god herself foresaw this turn of events. It's all well and good that Britain will disappear indeed. It's only to be expected now that the Tree of Emptiness is effectively dead. But if its disappearance is going to engulf the entire planet, then it is a matter that we must investigate, ultimately resolve. After all, there would be no feasible way to restore Earth to its pre-bleached state if there is no Earth left to restore. Okay, I'm with you there, but what the hell can we do in only 24 hours? A lot. As a matter of fact, you see, 24-hour period is in our time frame. But according to Sheba, time moves very differently within the Lost Belt. Once inside the British Lost Belt, our time constraint will be ceased for it to be a concern. So as long as you can resolve this phenomenon while you are there, we should be all set. That said, time is definitely not on our side. Which is why we are going to have all the Chaldea staff board the Stormboarder and head for Britain as soon as we are able to finish our final safety check. Then once you arrive in its walls of light, you will see the Stormboarder's dimension-piercing drill to breach it. And make your way into Britain, the 6th Lost Belt. This is all I have to say, and as luck would have it, the Shadow Boarder has just arrived to the dock. I know this mission is about being sprung very suddenly, but Sprinchy will fill you in on the details aboard the Stormboarder. Be careful out there, everyone. I cannot wait to hear what sort of fun hijinks you get up to this time. Sorry, you're right. I did say the entire staff. My bad. I did not phrase that as intended. I felt it would be much too presumptuous to count a newcomer like myself as a member of the Chaldea staff. Please do not worry about me. I'm just going to stay here and continue to monitor the 7th Lost Belt. Do your best out there, Hakuchi, and I promise to do the same here. That said, if you all should blow this one, both I and this base will cease to exist in about 24 hours. So I'm counting on you more than ever. But I am not at all worried. I know you will succeed. Bye, Sion. Whee! Bada 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 bada. Nemos. Attention all crew members. I repeat, attention all crew members. We've arrived at the waters near the British Lost Belt 2 hours after departing the Wandering Sea, just as we expected. We're currently 200 kilometers north of the Isle of Britain. The Wall of Light looks to be a dimensional rift just like the World's End for the Sixth Singularity. Thanks to Da Vinci and Professor's analysis, we've learned that the rift is its thinnest on the southern side. That's where we'll be heading, and we'll begin the dimensional boring as soon as the thinnest I can speak words. Oh, there goes my internet. Hello, internet. There you have it. We're going to begin the operation as soon as possible without any breaks. Stormboarder is a big ship after all, so it can't just slip into void space like the Shadow Boarder. But what it can do is use a massive propulsion force and magical energy barriers to withstand the dimensional friction that separates different worlds. Basically, it's a giant drill. What we're going to do is fire the Stormboarder through that wall of light like a bullet. Entry to impact will be just as strong for zero sails, so be sure to be as calm a state of mind. If you're confused, distraught, or terrified, then your soul might not be able to keep up with your body. Yes, I'm well aware. You mean that weird sensation where you feel like your chest and your head are being stretched like taffy, right? No need to worry about us, Captain. This isn't our first rodeo. More importantly, we do have a firm plan of action, yes? Because I don't even want to think about entering a Lost Belt without a strategy or a goal. Of course we do. Don't worry, Gordy. We know exactly what we have to do. After all, we were always planning on going after the British Lost Belt at some point. Really? You were? But I thought the British Lost Belt was no longer a threat, at least up until today. Right you are, but nonetheless we are indeed making plans to explore it as well before now. While we only have a few bits and pieces of information to work with at the moment, we do know that Beryl Gut remains at the British Lost Belt, and that the king was able to launch an attack on the Olympus Tree of Emptiness. Once more, this king was even able to burn the very Tree of Emptiness required to sustain their Lost Belt. And while it's still unclear whether Beryl tricked them into doing so if they acted of informed consent, what matters is that they possess enough power to burn a Tree of Emptiness single-handedly. And then there's Gronmield. Yep, a hugely powerful spell akin to divine punishment that was able to reach Olympus all the way from Britain. A mystic that surpassed even Kirsch's ideal magecraft. That was Ramehide all along, right? It's a spell devised not by human hands, but by the inner sea of the planet itself. It would be a powerful weapon against the foreign god, which means it's something we desperately need. Planet's inner sea? What is that? Oh, it's basically a paradise of legend. Every mythology's got some kind of promised eternal holy land, right? Utopia, the Garden of Eden, the land of the young Tirnanog, and so on. Well, Britain's is called Avalon. It's supposed to be an otherworldly paradise. You got Morgan? Good job! Otherworldly paradise cannot be reached by ordinary means. It's also said to lie inside a planet and then where the soul of stars go to sleep. Pretty much every clock tower mage has heard of it. I know it's called a legend, but that's not how the people who actually see it think of it. There are some people out there who really might be able to get the planet's inner sea. Hell, the clock tower even got a department for exploring it. That said, we're talking about a place that's completely outside human comprehension. Once you get mixed up with something like that, you're practically already lost to a world outside our own. Ha ha ha, what are you saying, Mini-Paza? Are you talking about the underground workshop? They're just an ordinary archaeological team with a fancy name. Really, how could anyone take them seriously after they proudly claim to be the Earth's belly button underneath the clock tower? I may be something of a magecraft elitist, but even I wouldn't be too embarrassed to say something like that with a straight face. If we're quite done with our discretion about the Mage Association and the clock tower's inner politics, let's turn to the subject at hand. Now that we know that the King of British Lot Belts controls Ramehide, we need to investigate it and learn how it works. Indeed, Ramehide is the very reason why we are already making plans to explore the British Lost Belt. While the circumstances have forced us to act sooner than we hoped, we were always going to pay them a visit eventually. So the Master's mission this time isn't just to investigate the Lost Belt. While we do of course need to prevent the collapse of Trimagus 2 warned us about, securing Ramehide is our top priority. As such, no quartz for anybody else. As such, our ultimate goal for this Lost Belt is to negotiate it with this king for it. We want to cut a deal with this Lost Belt's king? Someone capable of essentially firing intercepted ballistic missiles at will? Yep, honestly I think it's pretty reckless even for us, but I'd love to get my hands on Ramehide too. But between the Storm Border and the heroic spirit system in the Black Barrel, I think we should be able to neutralize the so-called the planet-level threat like the foreign god if the circumstances call for it. Xian was adamant that we need a divine construct though, so here we are. Well, Miss Xian is an Atlas alchemist. I have no doubt she has something unique in mind. And let's not forget, we wouldn't have the Nautilus or the Storm Border if it weren't for her. So I, for one, am perfectly willing to be able to go with a plan of hers. Especially if it leads to acquiring Ramehide or something equivalent to it. How many times can I say Ramehide differently? As for, don't you think you're just being a little too optimistic here, Holmes? This could be the biggest burden we've been asked talking to bear so far, you know? You'll have to continue this conversation later. We've almost reached the drilling point. All hands return to your posts. Brace for space-time crossing impact. Oh, right. Sorry, Captain. Let's go. Part 1 of 3. Let's go. Crap. The wall's closed. Wall's right in front of us. Sorry for not paying closer attention, Captain. Alright, I understand. I don't like it, but at least I got the point of the mission now. Remember, this won't be like any last belts we faced so far. Negotiation requires careful, thoughtful approach, so try to keep your reckless risk-taking to no more than 30% of your usual antics. Good grief, it seems you and Gerald have beat me to the punch. As important this mission may be, it should be within your ability to acquire this weapon. Fortunately, we have both knowledge and time on our side. Regardless of what sort of person you may be dealing with, as long as we take things one step at a time, we're sure to arrive at the truth eventually. I'm ready to go. I got my seatbelt on. Let's go. Good. Professor, start the final safety check. Storm Border, initiate zero coding. Triton engineers 1, 2, and 3 are all green. The Storm Border... The time difference between the Storm Border and drilling target have been calculated. Da Vinci will protect the ship's armor from the computer room, while this nameless series focus on maintaining the route. Computer room just gave us the all clear, Captain. We're looking at a 9.9% chance of success. Dimension-piercing battleship Stormboarder move out. Prepare to enter the 6th Lost Belt. Let's go. We're going to Avalon. What could be wrong? The moment a planet is born. Woo. What could go wrong? Answer is a lot of things could go wrong. Hang on. Oh, I got too many craft distances. Hang on. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. Alright, that should be enough for now. Yeah, that's Vinci. Let's go. Do-do-do. It's the beginning. Let us see what is happening in the beginning. The fairies cherry freedom. The fairies guarded their love. In recompense, the children lost their world. Though it is destroyed over and again, your Britain will ever prosper. Spring, surprise, summer's quarrel, autumn's joy, and winter's battle. Death piled upon death to stand eternal. Be wary and never forget, no matter how sturdy the walls, the castle's foundation never changes. As the world took new form, the roots aged, and now unseen and unfelt. The gnawing of the tiniest of insects shall bring all to ruin. Yes, you were, and I think I lost consciousness for a moment too. What about all of you? Same here, it was kind of a dizzy feeling, I guess. Oh, my head's still kind of spacey too. Ugh, I remember the captain declaring we'd broken through the wall of light, then nothing. On a different note, why is it so dark in here now? I'm here, thanks, but it's kind of hard to talk right now. You too, Captain Nemo, though it feels I'm not the only one feeling under the weather at the moment. That's terrible, why did this happen? Allow me to explain. Da Vinci, you're okay? Of course, as you can see, I'm in the same chipper Da Vinci as always. It's all because I was synced up to the border in the computer room. While you were all out cold, I took care of things inside the ship and finished analyzing the outside atmosphere. So where should I begin? Probably with the way you and Nemo aren't feeling like yourselves, huh? No, that's alright. In fact, that you and Miss Curiolite are fine tells me everything I need to know. Think back to the Chinese Lost Belt we entered. Both Nemo and I felt deeply under the weather. Da 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 da. That must mean no heroic spirit can function here, or rather no heroic spirit extracted from human history. And that in turn tells us that human history simply does not exist here, am I correct? I should have known you'd figure it out fast. I just checked the spirit origin graph they transferred to the border. It was completely shut down. There's not even a fragment of the base needed for the heroic spirits for proper human history to exist here. The Chinese Lost Belt's history had no need for heroic spirits, but I'm guessing heroic spirits simply don't exist in this Lost Belt's history. That's why heroic spirits for proper human history like you guys can't set foot on the Isles of Britain. You're basically being attacked by the entire world since you never existed here in the first place. So is there essentially not enough of the foundation for heroic spirits to operate here? Take, say, Robin Hood, for example. He should be able to exist in any Lost Belt, right? He's so vaguely defined that it should only take a single skilled archer existing at some point in history, regardless of what their name might have been, for him to qualify. But now you're saying that even conditions as vague as those don't exist here in the British Lost Belt? You got it. That was a great example, Gordy. Well, you know, I have reached a point where my tenure as a director where I have begun to enjoy reading the reports. I dare say I know more about the Lost Belts than Hakuchi does now, at least on a purely intellectual level. At any rate, I see now that this history never contained so much as a single skilled archer, eh? How in the hell does that work? These Lost Belts have been around for over 2019 years, yes, so how could they have that much history and not a single historical significant figure? They couldn't. Lost Belt or not, any path human history takes must fit within certain definitions. Any manner of human civilization must inevitably pass through template of particular technology milestones. It's simply not possible for an animal species to propagate itself over 10,000 years without its culture of average quality of life meeting certain criteria. Naturally, over the course of that history, people will always branch out into various different occupations. Though their names may differ, they will inevitably be the same: sword fighters, archers, spear fighters, artisans, soldiers, kings, and detectives. The lack of any such figures even existing here must mean... Could it mean that there are no humans here? An excellent insight, Miss Hakuchi. Indeed, it would be the simplest explanation. But there are still other possibilities left to explore. I'll have to do so later. Hang on, then why are their technical advisor and Kirillite seemingly unaffected? In my case, it's probably because I'm a demi-servant. I do have Galahad's spirit origin, but I'm not actually him, so... Yep, pretty much. As for me, I'm technically a homunculus of Leonardo da Vinci, not the original, so that would explain why I'm not affected. That said, I'm even more of a Leonardo than the original, so this might actually work out great. Then the only servants who will be any of help in this Lost Belt are you and Mosh. Seriously, you mean we can't even summon new ones on site? Since this place rejects any heroic spirits from human history, it seems real unlikely that we will bolster our forces that way. If we want to increase our numbers, our only choice is to ask the people of this Lost Belt for help. But never mind that now. Can you tell us what happened over these last 30 minutes, Da Vinci? Sure, right after the storm border punctured through the wall of light, the whole system went kaput. Every electronic device we have on board shut down, causing the storm border to crash. Luckily, Nemo Engineer was able to use the last of her strength to get one of the Triton engine back up and running. That in turn let the storm border break away from the island's airspace and make an emergency landing in the ocean to its southwest. That's where we are now. The generators are still out of commission and we're still running on auxiliary power. Not the most auspicious start to the mission, huh? Yeah, the situation definitely isn't great, but hey, it's not like we haven't been in tight spots before. In fact, I'd say the fact that we aren't attacked right off the bat and able to have a leisurely chat like this makes us at least a little lucky. Oh, so we haven't been attacked? Does this mean the King of the Lost Belt has yet to notice us? I can't say anything for sure yet, but I think so, especially since we haven't set foot on the Isle yet. The closer we get to it, the more these things on the storm border stop working. But the good news is, they are only stopped, not broken. I'm guessing here, but if the storm border gets far away enough from the Isle, I think everything will start working again. I can't believe I can't even get close to the mysterious island, so to speak, even with the Nautilus as its base. Still, as much as the situation is making me feel like a failure, I can at least confirm that the storm border is definitely intact. So if everything starts working again, once we put some distance between us and the Isle, well then we'll know we have a secure escape route out of this Lost Belt. Now we just have to figure out what comes next. Does the shadow border still work, Da Vinci? Unfortunately, no. We can use it as a ship to get to the shore, but I'm sure it'll stop working if it may land. We can't use the shadow border either? Damn. Oh, what about the comms then? Will those still work on the land? Again, I can't say for sure until we try, but given how everything else is behaving, I wouldn't get your hopes up. In the worst case, we may be able to rely on more primitive means of communication. How are you with carrier pigeons, Holmes? The most interaction I've had with the carrier pigeon was when I was unraveled a trick that relied on them. Of course, I can still use them just fine. Gosh, I guess that makes me the expert then. Don't worry, I'll handle the written correspondence side of things. Oh, and one more thing, I need to tell you how much time we have to work with. In its current state, we can keep the storm border powered for about 30 days. If we really need to stretch ourselves thin, we can make it last for 50 before the auxiliary power runs out. That's our time limit. Once the mission's complete, we'll move the storm border away from Britain and restart its engines. As soon as the Triton engines are back online, a generator and a stable supply of magic energy will break back through the wall of light and leave the British lost belt. That about sums it up. Sounds good to you, Director Gerardolph? Right then, if the storm border can't get near land, then we only have one course of action available. Curie Lights will accompany Hakuchi as her bodyguard while she infiltrates the Isle of Britain. Once there, the two of them will carefully investigate the area to find the cause of the future collapse observed at Chaldea. If circumstances allow, they will make contact with the Lost Belt King and acquire Rumihald. During its operation, we will be that communication storm border limited at best. Therefore, I am empowering the two of them to make their own calls in the field and expectations they return safe and sound, and successfully within 45 days. How are your things, just Hakuchi and Maj? There's no way they can pull this off alone. At least send me or Chin along with them. Not that I'm eager to get myself killed out there, but because I'm definitely not. But come on. Don't be daft, you fool. You're going along would mean the Curie Light needs to worry about keeping 2 people safe instead of only 1. She may be an excellent servant, but she's still only 1 person. So if we only have 1 servant to work with, I'm going to make Dan sure she supports Hakuchi to the best of her ability. Dr. Gerardolph! That clear, you two? Go on then, report to your mission's objective back to me. Yes, sir, my job is to assist Mash with the way she investigates the Lost Belt in whatever way I can. Don't worry, Mash and I will give it everything we've got. Very good then, and let's get this mission underway. We have only 45 days to work with after all. Britain is a big place. If I were you, I would start by making your way to Oxford, then. Huh? What are you doing there, technical advisor? The reason you're packing your various items into a rucksack? You need to ask no one with them, obviously. Didn't I say I'd handle the written correspondence? So keep an eye out for my familiar, cause that's how I'll be sending you letters back on the field. What? Say what? Yeah. Ooh, it's so foggy. I'll admit that this makes sense. Alright, you have my permission to go with them, technical advisor. Okay, I can at least take you to the shore, Da Vinci. Take care. Blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. I can read. And here we are, at the Isle of Britain at last. Whoa, it's so foggy out here, and it's so warm, too. Alright, settle down. You've already taken out 5 Lost Belts, so another strange land shouldn't be anything new to you. Well, it is, as a matter of fact. This is my first time out on an adventure like this. You can't blame me for getting excited. Now go on, Captain. Head back to the storm border already. You have a hard enough time as it is out there, right? It's our job to investigate this area, so you can sit around and grit your teeth until it's your turn. Fine. I guess I don't have to worry if you're in such good spirits anyway. Hakuchi, Mosh, don't forget to take care of Da Vinci while you're out there on your mission. Wasn't much, but I got a brief glimpse of the place back in the command room right before we lost consciousness. Everything east of the shore is shrouded in fog, but I did make out what looked like to be a city approximately 200 kilometers from here. Assuming nothing gets in your way, you 3 should be able to get there in about 2 or 3 days, so that's where I would start if I were you. I hate to ask you to trudge through this fog, but I don't see any other way of going around, even if we had time to spare. Don't worry, we'll be careful. We know what we're doing by now. I guess that's true, isn't it? Okay, Hakuchi, Mash, Vinci, good luck out there. I can't wait to hear back from you with good news. I can't wait to have news at all. Finished checking our equipment, Master. Our survival kits are all set, and we have 90 days worth of rations. Great, you two can keep the food to yourselves. I don't get hungry as long as I have enough mana. Say, where's Fo? I don't see him with either of you. Well, Fo actually never got on the storm border with us this time, so... I don't know why, but he basically bolted and hid from us. Aw, really? That's too bad. He's always there on your journey to restore humanity, right? Man, I was looking forward to having the same experience as my grown-up self, too. Maybe Fo just doesn't like Britain or something. Oh well, nothing we can do about that now. Besides, I'm sure we'll have other chances to travel together. Absolutely. I'd love to go on an adventure with you, Holmes, Director Gyarados, Siam, Manure, Fo, and Senpai all together. Alright then, let's get going. Let's go. You said it. Next stop, a city about 200 kilometers to the east. Buckle up, guys, because we got a long road ahead of us. Indeed we do. I can sense it as well. What? Huh? I can't believe it. Of all the luck. My first adventure ever and I'm already hallucinating. Then you and Master are seeing this too, Da Vinci? I thought I was, so on edge that my eyes were playing tricks on me. That's definitely Tristan, alright. Why are you all acting like it's so strange for me to be here? This is making me very sad. I mean, I will admit that it certainly wasn't the most dramatic summoning. If anything, it felt so casual and automatic as if the weather... the cog turning responded to the wind. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I report